Every breath costs something. The year is 2179 and the earth no longer breathes. The air tastes like rust and smoke. Cities collapse under skies the color of dying embers. Nations no longer fight for land or oil, they fight for air. Oxygen has become a currency, and only the powerful can afford to inhale without fear. I was one of them. Dr. Eli Draven, NASA's last exobiologist worth remembering, locked away in a white laboratory where the walls hum with recycled air. I studied distant worlds while my own planet drowned in its own breath. But that night, everything I thought I was died with the sound of gunfire. Through the blackened forest, a squad of soldiers moved under a blood moon. I watched the footage later, boots crushing dead leaves, oxygen masks hissing softly, rifles raised like fangs in the dark. They moved like phantoms, their night vision goggles painting the dead forest in green ghost light. They came for my daughter. The cottage where Aria lived was built behind tall fences, a rare sanctuary where light still felt warm. I can still see the reflection of the moon in her pool, the windows glowing like small suns. Then the night erupted. Gunfire tore through the quiet. Bullets shattered glass and peace alike. Guards fell one by one, their shouts swallowed by smoke. It took less than 5 minutes. They dragged Aria screaming from her room, her hair wild, her nightgown soaked with tears. She begged, kicked, and fought, but her voice was too human, too fragile for the world we'd built. They threw her into a black vehicle and vanished into the forest, leaving only broken silence behind. Hours later, I was still at the lab, surrounded by holographic planets that meant nothing. My eyes were sunken, my hands shaking over data that no longer mattered. The phone rang. I remember that small, stupid detail, the ringtone echoing like a warning bell before execution. The screen said unknown. I answered. Static. Then a voice, cold and without emotion. Dr. Draven, we have your daughter. The world stopped breathing. What? My voice cracked. Who is this? No reply, only movement. The video feed flickered to life, and there she was. Aria, my reason for existing. Tied to a chair, her lips trembling, tears streaming down her face. Dad, please, please help me! Her scream broke something inside me. My knees went weak. The phone slipped from my hand. Listen carefully, Doctor, the voice continued. You're going to do exactly what we say. You've heard of Project Eden 9, NASA's last hope, Nerthia 5, the world that might still breathe. My pulse thundered. What do you want from me? You'll go there, the voice said. You'll test its air, its soil, its life. You'll decide if humanity can survive. And if you refuse, the pause was deliberate. A slow death stretched across silence. We inject your daughter with a virus that will rot her from the inside. She'll die begging you for air. My body went cold. I looked at Aria again, those eyes that once looked up at me through childhood fevers and whispered, "Don't leave me, Daddy." "I'll do it," I whispered. "Just don't hurt her." "Smart man," the voice said. 48 hours, study the planet, then you launch." The line went dead, and for the first time in my life I understood what it meant to be oxygen-starved, not by air but by fear. Sometimes the hardest thing to leave behind isn't the world, it's the faces that made it worth saving. The next 2 days blurred into a single breath I couldn't exhale. I studied Nerthia 5 as if my daughter's life were written inside its atmosphere. Holographic worlds spun around me, oceans that shimmered like glass, continents veined with rivers of blue fire. It looked alive, untouched, almost merciful, but something in the data refused to make sense. The oxygen levels rose and fell like a living heartbeat, pulsing with the rhythm of something unseen. I told myself it was just interference, but in my gut I knew better. Planets don't breathe unless they're warning you. When the 48th hour came, I hadn't slept. My reflection in the glass looked less like a man and more like a shadow pretending to be one. That morning they brought Arya back. She was alive, unharmed, wrapped in a gray blanket. My wife ran to her, collapsing into her arms as if she could hide her from the world. I stood there, rooted, afraid to blink in case the moment shattered. I walked toward her slowly. My hand shook when I touched her face, warm, trembling, real. "I'm sorry," I whispered, my voice smaller than I remembered it ever being. "I'm so sorry." Her fingers clutched my jacket with the desperation of someone trying to hold time still. "Don't go, Dad," she cried. "There has to be another way." "There isn't." I tried to smile, but it cracked halfway through. "But I'll find a way home, I promise." Even as the words left me, I felt them die. My wife came forward. Her eyes carried a storm she refused to release. She pressed her lips to mine, soft, steady, final. "Come back to us," she whispered, though we both knew that sentence was a prayer without a future. Then the guards took me away. The launch bay looked like a church built for machines. Technicians moved like shadows behind glass helmets. I entered the shuttle, my steps heavy, my heart louder than the engines. I strapped myself in. The rocket rose with a scream. The world shook, then fell away. Earth became a gray marble beneath black clouds. I closed my eyes as the cryogas filled my lungs. When I opened them again, alarms were flashing red. The ship spun out of control. Through the cracked window, I saw a green planet turning below, Nerthia 5. I fell through gold clouds. The crash tore the sky apart, fire, smoke, and then darkness. When I woke, the world around me glowed. Trees taller than buildings reached into a pale yellow sky. Their leaves shone bright green, some moving like they were alive. The air was warm and smelled like rain. I took off my helmet. I breathed. The air was clean. My lungs didn't burn. I laughed, then cried. The forest hummed softly. Every step I took made the ground ripple like skin. I walked for hours, drawn to a strange light ahead. By nightfall, the forest began to shine on its own. The plants glowed green and blue, painting the dark with color. Rivers sparkled like mirrors. It was beautiful, too beautiful. Then I heard something moving behind me. At first, it sounded like the wind. Then came a deep growl. I turned and froze. A huge creature moved between the glowing trees, its body covered in plates like stone, eyes burning orange. It lifted its head and sniffed the air. I ran. Branches whipped my suit. I hid inside a hollow trunk until dawn. The monster's roar faded far away, but its echo stayed in my bones. For 3 days I tried to fix the transmitter. Every night I heard footsteps near my camp. I set fire around me for light, but in the smoke I saw shadows, tall, thin shapes watching. On the 4th morning I found footprints in the mud, human footprints. I followed them through a valley of glowing flowers until I saw them, a group of tall figures that looked almost human. Their skin was pale green, their eyes soft and bright. They surrounded me, not with weapons, but silence. One of them, a woman with long silver hair, stepped forward. "You are far from home," she said. Her voice sounded inside my mind. "I didn't mean to come," I said. "My ship crashed." She nodded. "This world is alive. It gives air. It gives light. But it also takes back what it gives." They took me to their village built into the side of a mountain. The walls glowed with living moss. The air was thick with heat and the smell of fruit. The people there moved slowly, like they were part of the forest. They called themselves the Illyrians. They said the green light was the planet's breath, an energy that healed but could also change whatever stayed too long. "The monster you saw," the woman said, "is part of this breath. It guards the heart of the world. That night I couldn't sleep. My hands tingled. My veins glowed faint green. I felt something inside me move with the rhythm of the ground. I ran to the river and saw my reflection. My eyes were no longer brown. They glowed like theirs. When I returned, the village was gone. Only vines remained covering the stone. The forest was quiet again. I called out, but no one answered. Then I heard the monster's roar. It was close, too close. I ran toward my ship, but the wreck was gone. The ground had swallowed it. I fell to my knees, gasping. The air grew thick, heavy, almost human. The forest glowed brighter until everything turned white. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in the middle of a green field. No ship, no ruins, just silence. A soft wind brushed my face. I heard a voice, Arya's voice, whispering my name from somewhere unseen. I turned, but there was no one there. I looked at my hands. They shimmered faint green. My breath rose like mist and vanished into the glowing air. Maybe I had become part of the planet. Maybe the planet had become part of me. Either way, Nerthia was breathing. And now, so was I. And if Earth ever sent another person here and he ever finds this log, tell my daughter the planet is beautiful, but every breath here has a cost.